when you hear about Afghanistan, is usually war-related news, but the war and that's going on in Afghanistan, it's a relatively new phenomenon. The country has been around for many years, and if I tell you actually about myself and the school that I went to, you can get a picture of how Afghanistan was before the war. I was born in southern Afghanistan. Then I moved to the capital, Kabul, and I went to a French school, a French lycée. So everything was taught in French, which was very cool actually. And I got to learn French when I was very young. And it showed that there were really good schools available in the country. After going to the lycée in Kabul, I went to law school in Kabul. Again, we had very good universities back then. The country was small, the country was poor, but still the educational system was functioning very well. We had one of the best, universities in the region. But unfortunately, after that, the war started, and that destroyed a lot of things. And that's how a lot of people hear about Afghanistan, is because of the war that started in 1980 with the Soviet Union coming to Afghanistan, and then when the Russians left, there was a civil war. So I will talk with you quickly, actually, today about the land. About some of the important economic issues in Afghanistan, about some of the social issues that are facing in Afghanistan, especially access to education, women's rights, and things like that, and a little bit about security, because some of your parents or people that you know might have served in Afghanistan as soldiers or as NGO workers and others. So I'll answer your questions.
Hi, Ambassador Jawad. My name is Megan. I have a question for you. How are you going to meet your energy needs if you have that many people in your country?
That's a very good question. Especially electricity is a challenge right now. So what we are doing, we are importing electricity right now from our neighboring countries, because especially our neighbors to the north have a lot of water. They're high mountains, so they produce electricity through hydro means, through rivers and dams. So we import electricity from there. Afghanistan has enough deposits of natural gas and oil. We are developing these natural gas and oil deposits to use it. But immediately, especially for our big cities, we need electricity because more people are living in better houses that use more electricity. People are using computer and others, so that the usage of the electricity is going up rapidly, and we are bringing this electricity from right now from Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, our neighboring countries.
My name is Tim, and I have a question about the Taliban. What problems do you still have with the Taliban currently?
The problem is terrorism. They're burning schools. They are putting bomb on the highways. They're killing Afghan people. So the problem that relates to the Taliban is security mainly. So they're trying to reverse some of the accomplishments in Afghanistan. Especially, they're opposing education, and the reason that they're opposing education is that because they're afraid of young people like you and others that are energetic, that have new ideas, because extremism and fundamentalism is about controlling. And the only way that you can control people is by keeping them ignorant. You don't want them to get educated. That's why the extremist group all over the world, not only Afghanistan, but also Saudi Arabia, many other countries, are coming down very harsh on young people. They're not allowing, especially girls, to go to school, because they fear that when people are better educated, better informed, then they lose control. So extremism and fundamentalism all over the world, it could be Islamic extremism, but it could be any other kind of extremism of any other religion, is based on the fear of losing control. So when they feel that they're going to lose control, something new is coming up, so they push back. And by prohibiting education, school, and the way that they carry this out, you cannot argue. So the way they carry it out is by violence, by killing, by bombing, by assassinating, and by attacking not only our security forces, but also our population.
My name is Selena, and what were schools like when the Taliban were in power?
There were very few schools for girls, and those few schools for girls were usually managed, operated by NGOs. So the government school did not allow girls to enroll. The curriculum was changed. Some of the modern curriculum that existed, such as computer, English, and other, they were taken away. So there was not a whole lot of school really operating in the country. There was very few of them, and with those schools that were operating, also the curriculum was very much backward. This is changing. We have in the past 12 years what we did. We started from first grade up to 12th grade. In each year, we printed new books and come up with new curriculum. So now after 12 years, we have a fully new curriculum from first grade to 12th grade with new books published. We have published close to 80 million books because we have so many now people going back to school. And all of these books have new modern curriculum.
Right, now that I've got your attention, let's start with global warming. I'll help you out here a little bit. What do you understand about it? What have you heard discussed, or some of the concerns that you have? And then I'll try to integrate that into the issues of energy usage and future, demands. Gentleman right in the front. Yeah, you knew I was looking at you.
I hear that the sunspots cause global warming, but I hear also that humans do. So, do you believe the sun is cause?
I'm not a scientist, so I can't speak to sunspots. I do know that different cycles within, sun activity can definitely affect climate in terms of what happens, but to say that that's a cause of global warming, I'm not qualified to. I can probably speak better to your second question, which is, do humans cause global warming? So let's think about that, and let's just talk about that as it relates to energy. Would you agree or disagree that over the last 100 years, the amount and usage of energy, being fossil fuels primarily, has increased? And has increased dramatically, yes. See the young lady shaking her head. Now, what would you attribute that primarily to in terms of why it's increased so much?
Because we mine for it, like oil and stuff.
Coal, higher
And
population.
gas.
I heard somebody, who said population? All right. Right on. How many people are on the planet today? What's our population on our planet right now?
Close to
6+ billion.
Close to
All
7
right. Almost 7 billion people on the planet. So we'll put that in perspective in a moment, but by 2050, they estimate there's going to be another, how many more billion people on the planet?
2.
Perfect. Now, did you know that because it's been discussed, or was that just a good guess?
Oh, my teacher.
Kudos to your teacher. So we're going to have close to 9 billion people on the planet. So just by that fact alone, common sense says that energy usage is going to increase and demand for energy is going to increase rapidly. But let's just go back for a moment to what we had said earlier. Over the last 100 years, there's been a factor that's really changed the equation in terms of not just population growth, but where are these people living?
The U.S.
Meaning, well, I'm sorry, you said the U.S.?
Mostly.
All right, I'll help you out here a little bit. You're onto something here, okay? The world, in terms of the industrial nations, which have been primarily the United States and Western Europe, have really led the charge on energy consumption because of our industrializing. And the fact that we have moved from a rural population to an urban population. So what do you think happens when you move from a rural population to an urban? Do you use less energy or more?
More.
More energy. And the reason you use more energy is because,
More
what do you think
population.
some of the factors may be?
Wait.
Need
Well,
to
you're
build.
going from, you've already, the population's already increased, but you're going from a rural to an urban population.
But then
What is it
Jeez.
about living in an urban setting?
Cars and construction.
But then there's more transportation devices like buses and then like walking or
Yeah, but you're planning on going
bike.
places more often. The city or
Your choices, exactly. Good, excellent point. Your options have changed, haven't they? The things you can do. You're living in Arlene. Now, I grew up right outside of New York City. So, Long Island was not a rural place. There was about roughly, between Suffolk and Nassau County, about 2.5 million people in a place that was 123 miles long and at its widest 18 miles. Now try to get your head around that for a minute when you consider the state of Montana, as vast as it is, only recently hit 1 million people. And the metropolitan area of New York, and that includes the 5 boroughs of New York, has a population roughly around 8 or 9 million people. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot more demand on infrastructure. Everything that you do is exponentially at a much higher level. So the amount of energy required to truly run the system and run it efficiently is just staggering when you think about it. So take a country like China. China has roughly how many people right now?
A quarter of the world's population.
Okay, not quite, but pretty close. China has 1.4 billion people. Now, it was only recently that China went from a population that was predominantly rural to one that is now about equal in terms of urban and rural. But as the next 20 to 30 years will bring, their population is going to become more urban, which is going to put tremendous pressure on their infrastructure and their ability to produce resources and energy to meet that demand.